For midwives, birth is not always a story of joy. Sometimes it's about loss, a baby who doesn't take their first breath, a mother's silent tears, a family's unimaginable grief. A new study published in Sexual and Reproductive Healthcare 2025 explores how midwifery educators in Australia help prepare students for these painful moments and what stands in their way. The study found that many midwifery students graduate feeling unprepared to care for families after stillbirth or neonatal death. While they receive lectures and theoretical training, they rarely get meaningful clinical exposure to grief and loss care. Educators said that this gap leaves students anxious, uncertain, and afraid to face bereaved parents, especially when their first experience comes suddenly in real clinical settings. Through interviews with 10 experienced clinical midwifery educators, the research revealed 7 themes, 5 barriers, and 2 enablers that shape how students learn about perinatal loss. The most common barrier was that grief care is simply not prioritized in clinical training. Students are encouraged to focus on birth with happy outcomes, while experiences involving death are often avoided. Educators admitted that many midwives still believe exposure to loss should happen later, once graduates are more experienced. Another challenge is protectionism. Many educators described wanting to shield students from distressing experiences, fearing that witnessing stillbirths might traumatize them or discourage them from staying in the profession. Others tried to protect mothers by keeping students out of the room, worried that their inexperience might unintentionally add to a family's pain. While well-intentioned, these practices often leave students less capable of offering compassionate care when tragedy strikes. The study also found that teaching grief is emotionally difficult, even for senior midwives. Many said they struggled to find the right words or model communication after loss. In busy hospital settings with staff shortages and multiple patients, giving students time to learn and reflect becomes nearly impossible. Still, there were bright spots. Educators agreed that universities can serve as safe spaces where students begin learning about perinatal loss through guided discussions. Simulation and listening to parents share their lived experiences. This kind of early exposure in a supportive environment builds emotional resilience and prepares future midwives for the complex realities of care. The message is clear. Midwifery education must balance protection with preparation. Loss is an inevitable part of life, and learning to face it with empathy is part of being a midwife. By giving students the chance to learn, feel, and reflect, we can build a generation of caregivers ready to stand beside families through both joy and sorrow.